casual wrestling community show. You already know, talking WWE.
All right, so speaking of faces, there was an internal document leaked leaked from WWE that listed Bobby Lashley as the #1 babyface on Monday Night Raw. Okay?
Okay.
So my question to the CWC is here, can Bobby Lashley really be Raw's top babyface without a mouthpiece like MVP to speak for him? My take on this, I am extremely nitpicky when it comes to baby faces and the ability to speak clearly and convey an attitude that convinces the crowd to get behind the guy. Baby faces have to be able to work a microphone. Heels can get away with choppy sentences and telling the crowd to shut up and using gimmicks for cheap heat, like saying, hey, the Celtics suck, right? Baby faces can't do that. They have to be able to convey the message. And Bobby Lashley has so many amazing qualities. His look, it's almost unmatched. There's nobody who looks more like a superhero than Bobby Lashley.
Yeah.
His ability to wrestle and tell a nonverbal story is perfectly on point. When Bobby Lashley's in a match, everything, it clicks. It all looks right. But when he picks up a microphone, it's just word vomit that comes out. He stumbles over his own words all the time. And that's okay, but like, why is there this negative stigma in pro wrestling with actually needing a manager to talk for you? Because so many greats have relied on this over the years. And I think managers are the most underutilized element in WWE right now. I could create a list of characters in the WWE who could benefit tenfold from having a talking head, somebody standing next to them and speaking for them and allowing them to remain silent. Cough, cough, Ronda Rousey.
Oh, yeah.
She needs somebody to talk for her. She comes off boring and dull and not energetic. And I think that's just her personality. I think that's authentic Ronda Rousey because her fighting has always done the talking for her. Mm-hmm. And we look at Paul Heyman, right? Paul Heyman is the greatest manager / advocate / mouthpiece, whatever you want to call him, that I have ever witnessed in my time watching pro wrestling. That's not a big window. I get it. But in the time I've watched, I've seen quite a few managers and mouthpieces. But every manager that I've seen, they typically elevate the character. Vicky Guerrero did it for Dolph Ziggler. Mm-hmm. MVP did it for Bobby Lashley, and he's doing it for Omos. And it's happened over and over. But Bobby Lashley, I don't know how long he can go without having that. If you look at Paul Heyman has been integral for Roman Reigns, while Roman Reigns has found comfort on a microphone. Now it seems like Roman Reigns has finally stepped into his own. Same with Brock Lesnar. These guys over time, they find the swag, they find the comfortability, and they're able to talk. But man, with Bobby Lashley, it does feel so many times like less is more for him. And Bobby seems to speak himself out of that little bit of extra polish that baby faces, especially if you're going to be #1, that baby faces need to have on Monday Night Raw. But if Bobby's listed internally as the #1 baby face on Monday Night Raw, it scares me a little bit.
I agree.
Because he doesn't have the shine and the polish like a John Cena, like a Hulk Hogan. Nor do I even see all the ingredients there that make that kind of star with Bobby Lashley. Bobby, great heel. He's great as a heel because he could just be big and scary and he can beat you up real bad. And in the right situation, I think Bobby is definitely viable as a #1 face. I just think Bobby Lashley could benefit with a partnership or a manager or somebody who could do the talking for him. Give him a solid mouthpiece. It has to be somebody who can speak without generating heat. It's the same thing that if they're going to try and push Ronda Rousey on us, she needs the same thing. I was just playing around in my head. Who could that be, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody like R-Truth.
Ooh.
R-Truth is somebody who can get a reaction from the crowd every time he steps into a ring. Yeah. And they're wasting R-Truth on the 24/7 title. Let's not kid ourselves. Like, They're just trying to find something to do with R-Truth because I'm sure they're afraid if R-Truth went to AEW, he would get so over with the crowd. Because every time he has that Kevin Owens in him. Every time he steps in the ring, it doesn't matter what the storyline is, he can make you laugh. He can make you feel something. But if Bobby Lashley can't reach out and grab the brass ring, the brass ring that Vince McMahon always talks about, to be the number one babyface on Raw, I started thinking, who else is there on Monday Night Raw? Montez Ford?
I like him.
I love Montez Ford. I think he's fucking phenomenal. And I think WWE's got to shit or get off the pot with Montez Ford. I understand. If they pull the trigger and they put Montez Ford as a singles competitor, Angelo Dawkins is going to be lost for a moment. He'll find himself. Dude's super talented. He's not as athletically gifted as Montez Ford, but Angelo Dawkins will find himself. But Montez Ford, he can talk on a microphone. He's got the look. He's got the athleticism. We saw what he did a few months ago against Roman Reigns in a single matchup. He's a guy, and they need to go with it. They need to start putting him in singles matches. Now, I just mentioned R-Truth. I still think there's so much more that R-Truth could do on Monday Night Raw rather than chase around the 24/7 belt to get a couple laughs. There was a time where R-Truth was in the main event picture. It was around the Little Jimmy time and all these things. And R-Truth always has these gimmicks that get over with the crowd. And I still think he's got more in the tank. He could challenge for a major belt. Now, with the belt being unified, it's a long line. The WWE's got a long line just like AEW. But R-Truth on Monday Night Raw, very viable as a babyface, as a top babyface. We go back to Dolph Ziggler, and I know he's playing a heel now, but Dolph Ziggler is somebody, I think he's got one last solid long run in him. And he's done the babyface thing, and the crowd is always kind of chomping at the bits to get behind someone like Ziggler. So I do think Dolph could come in on Monday Night Raw. It just takes a few heroic moments, and the crowd will get behind him. And I think Dolph could be a viable babyface on Monday Night Raw. And then the funny thing that I thought when I saw this list was that Cody Rhodes wasn't listed as the number one babyface.
Yeah.
Maybe this list is pre-Cody Rhodes. I don't remember now if they had him as number 2 on this list, but it feels like to me at this point in time, Cody Rhodes has to be the biggest babyface in all of wrestling right now.
Yeah.
Coming off the momentum of wrestling. You talk about a guy who just made the right decision. Like him, hate him. Lots of people hate Cody Rhodes. Lots of people love Cody Rhodes. I don't really have a good feel on Cody Rhodes, but I do know coming out of WrestleMania, he has all the feels of a babyface. His promos seem to go over pretty well, and the WWE crowd is behind him. And so, to me, he's probably right now, if I was making the list, Cody's 1, Bobby's 2, and then I think I would try to slot Montez Ford into that 3 spot. It's time to get the Street Profits. They're great. I love the Street Profits, and it hurts me to say they need to break up, but I think it's time for Montez to get some of that single shine. Now, I did notice Raw has an overabundance of heels, Lauren. There are a lot of bad guys on Monday Night Raw.
I don't think I've noticed that.
When I wrote this list down here, you got Edge and Damian Priest, both bad guys, okay?
Okay.
Kevin Owens, I assume he's still the heel coming out of the Stone Cold thing.
Okay.
Even though he's in one of those in-between phases here with this comedy thing with Ezekiel, Elias, whoever the fuck it is, Elias's little brother. You got Omos, you got Seth Rollins, you got The Miz, you got Theory, and you got Veer Mahan. They're gonna need more baby faces on Raw because Bobby Lashley and Cody Rhodes can't take on the world by themselves.
No.
They need more people to back that up.
Step in the ring, if you ready, let's go. Ay, casual wrestling community show. You already know, talking WWE. Keep it rolling and hosted by Notorious Nerdy D. Dope a show that you gon' find. Tune in cause it's online. Hit 'em with a figure 4 leg lock, power driver or clothesline. We